Hi, I'm RJ Tarun and I recently sat down with one of my favorite musicians, Raghu Dixit.
Sir, where is your lungi? I didn't recognize you without it. As if they don't see my face at all.
And in this conversation, he opened up about so many things about his life, his career as a musician, and that it all started as a dancer.
I was pushed into classical dancing as a small child. When I was 7, my mother and my father saw me imitating my cousin sister who was learning dance, and they misunderstood that for talent.
और ऐसा कई बार होता है कि कोई unconventional path आप choose करते हो and you're made fun of. That happened to Raghu as well.
I finished dancing and I was removing my makeup when a classmate of mine came and started making fun of me by saying, "This is so effeminate of you to wear kajal, lipstick, makeup and perform on stage."
And then, of course, he talks about how he took a turn in his career from a microbiologist to a musician.
That was a clear-cut sign, and one of the most important signs was in Belgium when I was singing in my room on a weekend and my landlord knocked on the door and asked what CD it was being played. So I said, no, it was me singing, and he was like, oh, so you're a musician too? But I was working as a research assistant in a pharma company in vaccine research. I was a microbiologist.
And interestingly, radio played an important role in his career, in him taking music seriously.
So I ended up on a radio show like this with an RJ on radio, RBTF Radio 21. And I spoke about myself and sang one or two songs in that 10-minute window. And that brought in a lot of appreciation from the audiences listening through emails.
But one of the most important and emotional part of this conversation is when he was once writing down the list of people he's grateful for, and he forgot to mention his mother in that list.
And I started writing the names of people who have helped me to get there. About 35 names, and I realized suddenly that I have not even mentioned my mother, who was the whole reason why I'm here who I am.
And that emotion rightly and beautifully connects to his latest release, Amma, and he talks about the song. In this interview, Raghu Dixit talks about his journey, his music, memories, his mother, and the story behind his latest release, Amma. And it all begins with where it all started.
So I was pushed into classical dancing as a small child. When I was 7, my mother and my father saw me imitating my cousin sister who was learning dance, and they misunderstood that for talent. And I got pushed into learning Bharatanatyam. And I continued learning that for almost 18 years and was very serious about it. Meanwhile, I was also studying microbiology in my graduation. And during one of the college days where I was asked to perform a 10-minute piece, I finished dancing and I was removing my makeup when a classmate of mine came and started making fun of me by saying, "This is so effeminate of you to wear kajal, lipstick, makeup and perform on stage. Look at me, I play the guitar. It is a macho thing to do. When I sing English songs especially, you see how the girls swoon, and that's what you should do." And so he was just having fun, but I got very angry. I said, in 2 months, I'll play that stupid instrument of yours and sing a rock song in English for you. And I found 2 brothers in a Christian seminary to help me learn first few chords. And my challenge was just this: I want to learn only one song. I don't want to be a musician. I just want to win this challenge, that's all. But when I learned a few chords and my first song was taught by Brother Peter and Ivan, is when I realized I found something that I will love for the rest of my life. So that's how music started.
Wow. Does your stage presence and what you choose to wear on stage, does it have any, traces of what you learned as a dancer?
A huge part of me who I am on stage as a musician today is because of dance. Not just in terms of costume, but also in terms of its ethos, the discipline that comes with it. Everything theoretically that I learned as a dancer, especially a concept called rasotpati, which means how to invoke the emotions in an audience. When you portray a particular character, let's say Lord Krishna on stage, you're portraying Lord Krishna stealing butter from the matka. None of the audiences, if the artist is portraying it really well, they do not see the artist. They imagine Krishna stealing it, and they would wonder how would it have been. And when that connection happens, the emotion within an audience is invoked. That is what rasa plus utpatti, rasotpatti happens. for me today as a musician, I apply that principle, that whenever I sing a song, the idea is that I should sing it in such a soulful way or tie it up with a story to make them feel as if the song is about their life. And when that happens, the audience-artist connection is established. And from then on, it's a fantastic relationship for those 2 hours on stage with the audience. They are with you in every bit that you say or sing, you know. So that is one thing. Second thing is how to use the stage space, how to use lights, how to express yourself through costumes. Because Aharya Abhinaya is also a form of Abhinaya, form of expression. Aharya Abhinaya is the what you wear to become the character that you are on stage. I am a South Indian. I grew up wearing a white panche or veshti or lungi, whatever you call it, in different languages. So I just took it to the stage and made it colorful because it represents the colorful folk music that I play. And I wear bells in my feet because of 2 reasons. One, it's a folk tradition to wear bells and use it as a rhythmic element in music. But also because it's the reminiscence of my dancing days. You know, I'm comfortable wearing those bells. So I took a little bit of my dance, what do I say, memorabilia on stage. And it kind of became a unique proposition for us because nobody was wearing lungi and kurta on stage with folk jewelry or rustic jewelry and holding a guitar and singing songs like a rock singer. So for me, inadvertently, it became a great selling point and a talking point. Like every interview, I face this question. So it's beautiful that people recognize me. Sometimes people will not recognize me if I'm walking on street, and then when they finally realize it's me, then they say, "Sir, where is your lungi? I didn't recognize you without it." As if they don't see my face at all. So yeah, it's all great for me that way.
You started with an idea and really ran away with it. I've seen you perform live, and I can tell you that as an audience, I and my friends, we enjoyed it so much. This
Thank
is
you.
one person who's, you know, quote unquote, doing folk music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but has made it really contemporary.
Yes.
You dress the way you do, but you have a guitar in your hand.
Correct.
And at the same time, you've got a lot of very fun one-liners going on.
That is just to keep I mean, of course, I interact with my audience a lot, and most of the times, nowadays, especially because of these horrible things called phones in your hand, most of the time they're looking at me through their phones. So one of my famous lines is that, "Am I that good looking that it deserves to be shot on a phone?" or things like that, you know, and make them conscious that they are losing the moment by holding that phone in front of them. They're not really in the moment present and enjoying the concert itself. So the attempt is to make them, you know, bring them even closer than having that screen in between them, between us.
Yeah.
So such one-liners help to get, or sometimes when there's probably somebody is texting in front of me, right in the front row, they'll be standing and texting somebody. So I stop the song in between and say, "Okay, मोदी जी को text कर रहे होंगे आप, बहुत important होगा, आप खत्म कर लीजिए, बाद में शुरू करता हूँ मैं." So you know, it's all done in zest and fun, and it works wonders sometimes because then. And then there was also a phase where people used to write to me saying, "Today I'm going to wear a yellow t-shirt and stand in the front, please scold me." It became a fun thing for them also that he picked on me. You know, so please troll me, they would say. With kids, it's difficult to deal with that one. But yes, one-liners really help, and I love making friends with my audiences like that.
It's such a wonderful thing to, of course, have the soul of the music intact and still have a lot of things around it.
Yes, because it's truly who we are now today as India. You know, we are all very, very, very proud of our tradition, culture, the identity of who we as Indians are at the core. But at the same time, we also recognize the conveniences of Western technology, Western cultures, and stuff like that. And we have amalgamated very seamlessly with what ours is, for example. Like, for example, there are marriages happening with the pujari sitting somewhere and it's happening online. You know, it's as crude as that, if I have to give an example of how we have managed to merge cultures together and still call it our own without letting go of the core. For me, my music is a representation of who we are as Indians. At the core, I want to sing songs of my soil, but at the same time, bring in rock guitars or pop synths into my music and make it more contemporary. That as a sound we are very global, but musically we are very local. So that was the whole idea, and it's worked in our favor a lot, especially abroad when we go and take our music and perform at world music festivals. It's really worked wonders because Westerners initially thought India was just sitar and tabla for the longest time. And for them to find a rock and roll band but singing in their own native language, especially poetry written 300, 500 years ago by saints of this country, they're very amazed with it, especially because the messages are very serious. Messages are very, at the same time, very relevant. But it's in a form that they can bob their head with.
Yeah.
So they like that. Yeah.
बहुत ही interesting combination है. These two different things,
Yes.
bobbing your heads
Yes.
on something that a saint wrote 400 years ago.
Yes.
And deeply rooted in Indian tradition.
Correct.
That too. But when you start, I want to take you back to the same question, how you started. So you did tell us how it all happened for you, the first seed, so to say. But that's one thing to start playing music.
Correct.
पर उसमें से एक करियर बनाना, या फिर फॉर पीपल टू से कि नहीं, आई वांट टू बाय टिकट्स फॉर दिस कॉन्सर्ट, आई वांट टू stream this music, I want to buy this CD or cassette. To get to that point, I mean, many a pair of shoes are worn out.
Yes. Or feet, I would say, because I go barefoot on stage.
So, what was Raghu's mindset in those days? क्या चल रहा था आपके दिमाग में कि यार, can this become a thing?
I waited for the correct signs to arrive into my life to believe that music will be my career for the rest of my life. It was something that I found to love. To love something is one thing, but to own it and make it a lifelong commitment is another thing, So, musically or otherwise, for me to pursue this, I used to sing for my joy, but there were strangers walking up to me telling me that they love it when they hear it. That was a clear-cut sign, and one of the most important signs was in Belgium when I was singing in my room on a weekend and my landlord knocked on the door and asked what CD it was being played. So I said, no, it was me singing, and he was like, oh, so you're a musician too? But I was working as a research assistant in a pharma company in the vaccine research. I was a microbiologist. So for him to see that I'm also a passionate music lover was surprising. So he asked me if I have a demo. So I had just recorded a cassette of my songs at that time. I handed him that, and little did I know that he was one of the biggest TV producers in Belgium. So I ended up on a radio show like this with an RJ on radio, RBTF Radio 21. And I spoke about myself and sang one or two songs in that 10-minute window. And that brought in a lot of appreciation from the audiences listening through emails. And that got me thinking, if I could turn on an audience which does not understand my language or culture, maybe there is something serious. I should give it an honest try. So I came back to India, quitting my job to become a musician, which didn't happen in 2 months. So therefore, I realized I do need a job. So I got into a software company as a tech writer for about a year and a half, during which I honed my skills as a songwriter, my instrument, started jamming with other musicians, formed a band called Antaragni. And Radio City started in Bangalore at that time. It was the first radio station in India to start. So that radio station had kind of announced a contest for bands, and we won the best band in Bangalore award, because of which DNA Networks got in touch with us and chose us as the opening act for Bryan Adams when he performed in Palace Grounds in 2001. And that just spread like wildfire. But it still took another 7 years before my album could come out. None of the record labels in Mumbai were ready to believe that this music would sell, because I was nowhere near the pop sound that was going on at that time. MTV was playing a lot of music, but even Indian Ocean was not on MTV at that time, because they were like the dadas of indie music at that time. And it was in 2006 that I was performing in Zenzi, a small bar in Bandra. And in the crowd, in the dingy, dark crowd, was Vishal Shekhar and Vijay, his manager then. And they came and spoke to me, and I got invited to Vishal Shekhar's studios. And again, I performed for Vishal and Shekhar. And at the end of it, they proposed, saying they would like to start a new record label to release my album. They started a record label for that. And that's how my first album came out. And like they say, the rest is history, you know. We ended up selling our own CDs at our own concerts. After every concert, we would spread out a bed sheet on a table and sell the CDs hand to hand to fans who wanted to buy it, with the promise of a sweaty hug at the end of it. So we became the highest non-film selling album that year through hand-to-hand sales, because again, by the time our album came out, MTV had waned off completely. They didn't play any more music on as a television. They went online. And there was no television to play our music video, uh, barring a couple of months initially. So everything had to be done DIY. And I'm very proud of that journey. Though it was very tough and difficult, I'm glad we chose that path, because we have stories that no other band will have.
The tougher it is for you, the better is the story going to be.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a beautiful story, really.
The first song that I heard was around the same time that you're talking about, Hey Bhagwan,
Yes,
Mujhko Tu Zindagi.
yes, yes.
And I'm like, who's saying these words? ये कौन लिख रहा है ऐसे? You know?
You कौन लिख रहा है is a very different question, for which an answer now is very ironical. I hope he listens to this interview. It was written by Aditya Dhar, who directed Dhurandhar. Aditya was just an 18-year-old boy in Bangalore, living with his cousin brother in Bangalore, and he had written this poetry and left it on his table, and I picked it up and I was like, what is this? Can I make a song out of it? And then we sat down together and finished the whole song. And then briefly, Aditya also managed Antaragni. In fact, he organized our first ever big concert at Chaudhaya Memorial Hall, which was successful. We sold out the concert. We actually made some 3,000 rupees as profit out of that concert. This was in '98. And then we lost touch, and suddenly next thing I know is this, it's the same Aditya Dhar directing Dhurandhar. I was like so amazed. And then later I met his cousin recently at a music festival in Bangalore, and Anurag was very, very sweet to remember all those days that we spent together. So yeah.
But how
that's
did
the
you meet
history.
him? What were he doing in Bangalore? And
I think he was studying. Yeah, I think he was studying something. I don't remember. And then I know that, did he finish his studies? I don't know. But he wanted to, the next thing I heard from Anurag was that he's moved to Mumbai. He's working as an assistant director with some director. And I was like, oh, wow, he got into films? And see how 20 years later he's something else now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I of course found the sound very unique. Nobody was doing something sounding like that, and it was great writing, of course. That was the first time I noticed. But then I heard Ambar,
Oh, wow.
and
Yes.
then I heard it live, and that's a constant on my playlist, no
So
matter
sweet.
what
So
happens.
sweet. Thank you.
And you know, different phases come in your life, and but there's some music that you always resonate with and go
Correct.
back to. It's
Correct.
that for me.
Thank you. And it also got a lot of nostalgia element attached to it, right? Something that you heard the first time you fell in love with it. Many years later, you hear the same song again. It happens to me whenever I listen to Sting. It was the first album that I completely fell in love with. 25 years on, it's my go-to album. Whenever I want something that will bring me out of my whatever low phase in my head, it's Sting's Mercury Falling album that brings me out. So I think everybody carries some music in their head which stays on for the rest of their lives. And I'm glad when people like you tell me that Ambar is still there, one of their playlist songs, which just makes me feel so worth it, fulfilling.
It's one of the most beautiful songs I've heard. Though my colleague here has a gripe.
You have a gripe?
He says that the chord progression to that track is available online somewhere. Where,
Yes.
yeah, but it's not complete.
It is complete.
It is?
Sir, you said that these are the chords.
Yeah.
And you can play along the song.
Yeah. So you don't want to do homework?
No.
You want
I did-
everything
I
to be
did-
spoon-fed?
I did. I did. But last part is a bit tricky.
No, it's not. It's the same chords.
Let's do that.
Like,
Can we-
in fact, every song of mine has only 3 or 4 maximum. If you find the 5th chord, I'll give you 500 rupees.
All right, Raghu Dixit here on camera.
This is it, man. These 3 chords. तेरा पलकों के धागों में बांध के घुंघरू नैनन बिताए मैंने तिनका पीसी रहना मदहोश है मेरा चैन खिड़की पे लिखे कोई ओस की बूंदों से तेरा नाम
I'm so glad you left microbiology.
No, but I'm glad I did that because it did teach me a lot of things which I wouldn't have otherwise learned. Like the corporate setup of working was a great education in the sense how you discipline, how you work today as a freelancer, because it's very easy to become lazy when you're a freelancer. But to get up every morning at the same time to do things which must be done despite whether you have a mood or not, all those things were from the corporate setup I worked in. So I'm glad I did that.
Yeah. This is the right transition for anyone who wants to take a plunge in their life.
No, it's not. Everyone's life is dictated by who they are, what their circumstances are, what their destiny is, and what willingness they have to, go through whatever the path demands. So there is no one single template to this. Everyone's story is very different, and everyone deserves to take their own sweet time to make things happen. There is no race in this thing. There is nobody's chasing you. Nobody should be chased. It should just happen when it's meant to happen. Even if you were like really ahead of your time and you went really juggernauting in the first phase, at some point of time life breaks down and slows you down. It's like the tortoise and the hare story. At some point of time you will be made to stop and slow down, and then you may have to even restart your journey sometimes. Like COVID happened, and then so many musicians came back from COVID and realized the whole scene has changed. For example, how music is being consumed and how it is being perceived has changed so much. People going to concerts, why do they go now has changed. So when all of that has happened, I almost feel like I have to restart my career now. Because I have to now not only be a good musician at the same time, I also need to learn the tools and techniques that young musicians are using through social media, how they market themselves and how they go make it viral. For example, those are all new learnings for me. So it's almost like I feel after post-COVID, it's like almost like back to square one, and I'm relearning the whole process. So the path is very different for me now than what it was 10 years ago. So every day it's evolving, every day is a learning curve, and it still is beautiful. That I will give it that much. That everything is as much frustration you go back to bed with every day. and wake up in the morning saying, no, today I'm going to crack this scene. And it's a never-ending process, really. And but that's what is beautiful about it.
Correct. You can have a track just sitting there in your album, in your some folder or a cassette CD, whatever, for years until it get discovered. And
Get discovered is one thing.
Huh.
If it gets discovered. There might also be musicians like me who have 30, 40 songs lying in the folder and don't know when to release, how to release. It's just there.
Right.
There are songs which are incomplete. There are songs which are waiting for that golden moment. I don't know what it is, because I'm glad my manager is in the same room and listening to this. But every day I get pounded by him saying, "But why are you still sitting on it?" God knows why I'm sitting on it, but I know when I feel like releasing it, it will happen, and I really wait for those uh, callings in I don't know from where it comes, but when I know it's the right time, I release it. But unlike that trait of mine, the song that we just released, Amma, happened because Chirag, my manager, said, "We have Mother's Day coming in May. I want you to release before that or on that day." I'm like, okay. There was pressure. So we got it done. Within 10 days, the song could be done. So it's not that you don't have time to finish it, or no, I'm waiting for the right inspiration or all that. If you want to finish it, you can finish it and release it. So it's all up to the artist and the people surrounding him who make it happen, actually. So yeah, there is no one single path for it.
This is the age-old corporate wisdom: set a deadline, make it tight,
Yeah.
and it will happen.
Yeah.
Tell us about Amma, how it really happened, and
The original form, Amma, happened in 2011, actually.
in Tamil.
In Tamil, yes. We had a great year in 2011 in the sense we played at some of the most amazing festivals in the UK, including Glastonbury. We got featured on BBC London's very, very popular music show called Later with Jules Holland. On that episode, we had Robert Plant, Adele, myself, Mavis Staples, and Arcade Fire playing. Each artist one song in a circular stage, and the camera just revolves from one artist to another. That's how the whole show is designed. And Jules Holland introduces each band. And the next day, we woke up to the fact that our album has become number one in the UK World Music Charts. We also won UK Asian Live Act Best Live Act award that year. We won Best Newcomer Artist by Songlines World Music Magazine based in UK. So like this, we had so many achievements in that 1 year. At Heathrow, we were waiting for our flight to get back home, and I pulled out my journal and I started writing. And I was wondering, oh my God, we've come so far from where I was. And I started writing the names of people who have helped me to get there. About 30, 35 names, and I realized suddenly that I have not even mentioned my mother, who was the whole reason why I am here, who I am. And that made me overcome with a lot of guilt. So I called up my mom immediately saying, "I'm so sorry." And I started crying that I have forgotten her, and I've forgotten her mention in this journal. And generally, yes, I was probably not thinking of her at all while I'm like, riding this wave. And all she did was say, "Oh, shut up, stop crying, come back home, I'll make some rasam rice and curd rice, you'll be fine." Just like any other mother would just rubbish emotional upheavals from their kids. So yeah, that was my mother. So when I came back, I asked Madan Karki, a very, very popular Tamil lyricist, and he's a great literature guy. So I asked him if he would like to write this for my mother, and he readily agreed and wrote it for free. He was very expensive as a film music writer, but for me, he did it for free and continues to do so till today. It's amazing how our relationships has evolved, and we have hardly met even once. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful that he's there for me to get some amazing words written. And I showed it to my mother when I recorded it, and she's like, nice song. And that's about it. And she heard it, me performing in Mysore in front of the Queen when she was there. I sang, since my mother is there. And my dance teacher was also there, and the Queen of Mysore was also sitting in the audience. So to all the three mothers, I performed this song in Tamil. But after that, a lot of fans always would wonder, why is it not in Kannada? you're a Kannadiga, why have you not written in Kannada, etc., etc. It used to happen. There was pressure, but I had not kind of taken it seriously. And then finally one day I said, okay, let's get this written in Kannada. And another film lyricist, Pramod Maravante, who wrote for some movies like Kantara. I asked him if he would love to write. Again, same reaction. Man, it's a song about mother. I would write it for free, and he wrote it. And it was basically a adaptation of what Tamil lyrics said, and most of it was translated. Only where we could not really get the same intensity, we changed those lines. But apart from that, that's how it is. And once I've written it in Kannada, I thought maybe I should get it done in Telugu also. So I have requested Kittu Visapragada, again one of the big names in the Telugu film industry. So again, he's written it for me, and very, very happy with how it's turning up. It should get finalized in a day or two. So once this is done, I want to release the Tamil and Telugu versions in the next 1 week or 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you also invited some of your fans to...
That was for the music video idea. I didn't know what music video can we... First I thought maybe we should have a story of a son who has flown away to US to work as a software engineer, and mother is waiting for him here. It's a typical story, you know. But then as an indie musician, you can only spend so much for a music video. I had to, first of all, define the budget that I could spare for this, and then come up with an idea which can fit into this budget. So luckily, we found Rahul Rajiv, a director who's done music videos for many indie bands in Kerala, to come on board. And then I gave him this idea saying, I'm going to invite fans of my music to come and listen to this song for the first time, and they will bring their mothers, and one by one we'll play the song as many times it takes, 30-40 times, and we will capture their reactions when they listen to the song. It was a very, in fact, I had to tell everybody not to act or go overboard with their emotions, or just because there is a camera, or be very, very shy or anything like that. Just let the song hit you, and if it connects with you, it connects with you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I had kept the door open for failure also of this idea. But luckily for us, everyone was so genuine with the song. Because the lyrics were also, again, very personal also at the same time. There is a particular part of the song which says, I sang for the whole world, but I forgot to sing for you. So here is a song for you, and it is about you, in praise of you. And it may not be as beautiful as the lullaby you have sung for me, but I hope, I get an opportunity to come back as your son every lifetime. That's the part where everyone kind of... And surprisingly, there was one mother, when I asked, I'm so sorry I made you cry, I said, and she said, no, it was not because of this boy. I was remembering my mother and I cried. So that also happened, where the mothers were remembering their mothers when they missed them so much that they ended up crying for that reason also.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
time
much, Tarun. Thank you.
and for making the music that
I'm
you
so
do.
glad. Thank you.